Welcome back to Geeks Are Sexy. I'm Jason LeDuc from Evil Genius Leadership Consultants, and we have our second guest for the day, very special guest, children's book author Jennifer Hart. Hi. She's an illustrator, an author, and a creator of things. She's the owner of a very special dog named Baxter, who is the inspiration for her first series of children's books. And one of the great things, one of the reasons we've got an author on here is because being an author is very much like owning a business and running a business, which we're learning as we get to know each other. Yeah. So we brought her on here because it's a very unique kind of business, but it's a business that I think that you might all be interested to understand not just the creative aspect, but the business aspect of being an author as well. So Jennifer, welcome. Thank you for being on Geeks Are Sexy today. And tell us about you and Baxter.
Okay, well, I am an art director and an author and illustrator. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, right here in the beautiful Las Vegas. So Baxter kind of came bouncing into my life, and he just was a really inspiring character for me, I think. He's super adventurous and kind and loving, like most dogs, you know. And so him and I kind of created the perfect storm, I think, for an idea to do a book kind of based from his perspective. And so originally, I had planned it as, I was toying with the idea of doing it as a bunch of short stories or essays. And then I took a trip, because I love to travel, so that's kind of like my thing. And I was on the way back from my own adventure, I like to say, when I wrote a made-up one about him. So so I went to Ireland, and the color there was like neon. Like the green is a green that you've never seen in your life. It's crazy. And so when I got on the plane, it was a 10-hour flight, so I had a lot of time. So just thinking about all the color and just, you know, the beautiful scenery, and then I had that idea of, you know, this book from Baxter's perspective in my head, and I think that those two came together, and it kind of was a frenzy of writing. And I think, you know, creative people, anybody that's done art or writes music or does any kind of writing knows when you get those weird inspirations, it's like the best. It's like addictive, like it's like getting your favorite piece of candy.
Absolutely.
You're a little kid, you know. So
absolutely.
So it was pretty amazing, and I actually wrote the first draft of the book on the back of my plane ticket, which for me is like one of the greatest things ever, because I love to travel. So it's pretty cool that
Do you still have it? Ticket?
Of course.
That's awesome.
And so it was pretty cool. Like the first draft of my very first book that got published was on the back of a plane ticket.
That's great.
It's cool.
So yeah, and Baxter is a really cute little guy. And Jen's gonna tell you how to get all her social media accounts. You can find Baxter on both the Baxter Books Instagram and the Jen Creates Instagram. You can see a lot of that there. We're gonna get all those addresses out for you guys at the end of the segment. But in the meantime, I want you to show us, because you brought a copy of the book today.
I did.
And I want you to show us and tell us a little bit about some of the adventures and the scrapes that Baxter gets into, and show us kind of how Baxter looks in your imagination in this world called Imagination Land.
Okay, so this is Baxter Goes to Imagination Land, and Baxter, he's right here in the corner, the actual real life Baxter. So Baxter kind of takes us through the story, and he meets lots of fun, surprising little characters. We have cupcake bees and sneaker trees that sing, and a man with spaghetti hair. It's really about just inspiring creativity and thinking about things differently. I think it's really important for kids to have that and to know that they can think out of the box and differently. You know, a cat wearing a donut hat. He kind of goes through this world and decides that he really likes being there, but he's confused because he doesn't know how he got there and how he's going to get back.
I've had weekends like that.
We all have. So he meets this character, this little seed, on his umbrella of balloons, and the seed tells him, or more like makes him realize, that Baxter can come to this place anytime he likes, because it's a place that lives in his own mind.
Okay, well, we're not going to tell you any more about the book, because we want you to go buy the book.
Yeah, please.
So before we dig too much into it, where can people go buy this book?
Okay, so you've got a couple options. Baxter Goes to Imagination Land is available on BaxterTheDogBooks.com/shop. or if you'd like, you can also buy it on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay, so plenty of options for you to go get it online. And then there are some places that people can come meet you in person and meet Baxter in person and buy the book in person.
Yeah, so we like to kind of peruse the events around town. So we've actually got one coming up on March 2nd. We're doing First Friday.
Okay.
And so we'll be out there with all the other First Friday folks. There's lots of talented artists and musicians and fun people to come hang out. We have a booth there, so we usually come out. Baxter's there. You can meet him, take pictures. And the book will be for sale. And then we have lots of fun. I like to call swag. That
you got a lot. You got what kind of stuff do you give away? I mean, you got a lot of stuff for the kids and the families when they come down to see you.
Yeah. So I actually just did a series of coloring sheets that we're giving away for free. We're actually doing a Baxter and I have been hard at work. Making a coloring book, coloring activity book, and that'll be Baxter's Return to Imagination Land through this coloring book, and that will be available in March as well. Date to be announced. So.
Okay, so coloring book coming up. So if you've got a birthday for a kid coming up, get them a copy of Baxter and Imagination Land, and get them a copy of the coloring book, and that should keep them quiet for at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's 60 pages. So
60 pages, maybe even 20 minutes before they work their way through that and get tired of that.
Right.
So what else do you have going on? Next week is National Reading Week, so I know you've got some stuff planned for that.
Yeah, so next week's going to be crazy. I'm super excited about it, though. We're going to be visiting 10 schools here in the Vegas Valley, so it's going to be a marathon, but I'm really excited. 10 schools and probably 30 classrooms or 40 classrooms maybe, so it's going to be a lot, but I'm excited to meet the kids, and that's really where, for me, that's really where it's rewarding. It sounds cheesy, but I really do get a lot of joy out of inspiring that creativity in a kid, and you can really tell when it resonates with them. So, getting to be one-on-one with so many kids all at once, it's going to be really cool.
That's great. Not just next week. You're doing that over kind of the first couple of weeks of March.
Yeah, so we're booked through March 9th. For Reading Week. So that's going to be really fun. Yeah, I'm excited.
And you got some activities you do with the kids. You read the book. You do some fun stuff with them. So.
Yeah, so read it. I do some brainstorming activities. I try to make it fun, so that they...
And you trick them into learning, too.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's the goal, right?
Trick those kids.
Get them wanting to want more creativity, want to learn more. So
cool.
Yeah.
And you are available if teachers who are watching or parents would like to see you come into the classroom.
Yeah.
You are available to do that. I mean, that's not just a National Reading Week thing you do. That's something you do for classrooms that want you to come. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'm open to meeting up with teachers and coming into classrooms anytime. So they can reach me, Facebook message me, or go to the site and email me from there.
Well, since we're on that part, why don't you tell everyone how they can get a hold of you, where they can find you on social media. We'll hit where you can get the books again at the very end of the segment, but I want to make sure, because we're talking about it, the teachers know how and parents know how to get a hold of you.
Sure. We're on Instagram and on Facebook at Baxter Books. So you can reach us on there, and we're posting all the time. That's a good place to go to keep up with, all the dates that are going on, different projects that are going to be coming out. We have a second book coming out in the fall.
Fall, right?
Yeah, so if you liked Baxter Goes to Imagination Land, then, you might want to check out the one coming out in the fall.
So if you want to see Baxter do something in particular, now's the time. Hit her up on social media and say, I'd really like to see Baxter driving a fire truck.
Yeah, sure. Right? Give me some ideas.
So I don't know if Baxter would drive a fire. I don't know that. That's why you're the author.
Baxter doesn't have his license yet, but
That's not how that works. So okay, this has gone off the rails very quickly. What's the biggest lesson you've got for someone who might be an aspiring author? Someone who's not riding on a plane right now, who doesn't have a plane ticket to write their book on the back of, especially for a children's book author, because that's a very unique kind of book to write.
Sure. Lesson. Probably, I learn something new every day. So one thing I think is just to start. For me, I didn't publish my first book until I was 31. So that was, I waited a while, and I don't regret it, but I wish that I would have done it a little sooner, you know? And I think that you get scared to do it, you know, and put it out there. But, if you just start, you have to allow yourself to kind of learn as you go and know that you're going to make mistakes. And, failure is imminent. So,
Yeah, no,
but
always.
It's actually necessary, though. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what arms you for, the next opportunity. So for me, once I got started and published it and it was out there, it's been so rewarding for me to finally share that with people, and I love it, so I wouldn't keep doing it if I didn't love it. So I think that's been the biggest lesson for me, is just to not wait, to just start. If you want to write a book, and do it, write the book, get the content done, and then publish it, and you'll figure out the rest. Like, you'll figure it out as you go along.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, that's the key to so many things in life and in business, whether it's a creative type business or any kind of business. Is at the end of the day, you have to just get started doing something, and you have to put yourself out there. And that's scary and that's hard to do, but unfortunately, that's the way it works. And we talked a little bit with Mike about risk and financial risk when you're investing, but it's the same thing. If you're going to invest your time and your life into having a business or writing a book, you have to take a little bit of risk. You have to put yourself out there.
Yeah, and it is a business. So the creative side of it, for if you're the type of person that wants to make a book, that part of it is flows out of you for the most part, the creative part. The business side of it, you do have to kind of take baby steps and learn, I think, if that's not something you have a background in. And I think too, another thing is not being afraid to ask for help, and being nice to people, because
so if you're an aspiring author, ask Jen for help.
Sure.
She will help
Email
you.
me.
And how can they reach you again, and where can they find the book?
So you can find the book at baxterthedogbooks.com/shop, or amazon.com, or barnesandnoble.com. And you can find me on social media, me and Baxter, on social media at Baxter Books. And you can also, if you want to sign up for our newsletter, that's a good way to keep tabs too. We like to call it Baxter's Pack, so you can do that from the site as well.
So we're going to commercial. Go sign up for the newsletter right now. Right now, go sign up. Jen, thanks for being our guest.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to have Mike Beatty back in just a minute. We're going to talk about some things going on in Las Vegas today. I'm Jason LeDuc from Evil Genius Leadership Consultants. This is Geeks Are Sexy, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.